continuing the tradition and moving on to other shows. Gotta keep this going, doing my best, putting in things, trying to keep track of stuff that I watch and make notes of stuff, and doing a lot of show watching, as my last few entries have kind of been related to. Gonna talk about something that I already did one entry on, because there was a Resident Evil film that came out at the end of last year that I highly recommend. I truly enjoyed it. I think it is probably one of the best live action adaptations to date to be something based on the video game. Now, the video game series is something I hold near and dear to myself. I have played every single one of them. I own every single one of them. I take it very seriously when other things come out that are connected with it. Like I said, I've played the one Game Boy Color game they had. It was horrible. I played Dead Aim, which was one of the first times that they mixed third-person shooting and first-person shooting. I've played them all. So when it comes to all of the films they did with Mila Jovovich, I love Mila Jovovich. I think she's a really good actress, but I hate those films. They also have a set of animated films that are more true to the video game storylines. Those are a lot of fun to watch. And right now we're going to talk about Infinite Darkness, which is an animated show that Netflix put out. Now, I have to correct myself in my last entry regarding Resident Evil. I thought this was the one that was still supposed to come out. Then I was proven wrong about a month later when I discovered that what they were gonna put out was the live action one that's on its way, or it's probably out tomorrow or something. Now, I'm gonna get around to being able to see that, but I just haven't had the chance to, simply because I was finishing, other things. We just finished Miss Marvel, which I'm gonna do an entry for. We just finished The Bear, which was fantastic. We're in show mode. So Resident Evil is on my list. It's the newest live action adaptation. I don't have real high hopes for it, but I'm gonna watch it because it's Resident Evil and I watch everything Resident Evil. Now, Infinite Darkness was what I thought this one was supposed to be, but this had apparently come out sometime last summer and totally flew under my radar, which, it's just my own confusion. I didn't realize Netflix was pushing out two completely separate Resident Evil shows. But then again, this shouldn't really have been a show, to be honest with you. Like, I enjoyed it. I thought it had all of the makings that what the normal animated films do. It's got the unrealism of what the series gives you, as well as what every single movie has given you as far as being unrealistic. But it also gives you, a really over-the-top, over-exaggerated story. Did it need to be split into 4 episodes? Truthfully, no. This could have easily been just another film. They could have easily put all these pieces together. Nothing is longer than 27 minutes, I think. And that's with each one of them having about a minute-long intro and a minute-long credit sequence. So that's 8 minutes right there you could have cut off. And if there's this thing, which I believe is this animated film thing, that animated films can't be more than 90 minutes. I don't know why that's a thing, but apparently it is. And this story would have taken up closer to 2 hours. So they said, that's not worth it. You have to make it now a series and split it up into pieces. Didn't make any sense to me. It could have just been a film. But, again, the story's worth it. As another piece of the Resident Evil lore, it is worth it. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing what happens in this little miniseries as a game. I think it would be a really good, playthrough. Some little, some extra content to put on to maybe, where they have Resident Evil 2 remake game that they came out with a couple of years ago. That's a fantastic game in the series. Just not even relating to how great the original Resident Evil 2 was. Just this remake and the remodeling of everything. If they just added this as some DLC and allowed you to play through it, I think it would be fantastic. Of course, again, it has its fantastical moments, but it's what you're expecting from Resident Evil. You can't go into Resident Evil expecting anything to make sense. It's not going to. I have learned to accept that, but I also need to reiterate that I am not willing to accept things that go against what its foundation is. And again, the Mila Jovovich movies do all of that. This character that Mila Jovovich plays in every single one of those films is nowhere to be found in any storyline whatsoever. And they have not even made any attempts to say, oh yeah, we're going to put her in at some point. No, she's not going to be involved at all. This is what we get. We get whatever these animated films push out, and we get the video games. Those are the only things that are connected to real diehard Resident Evil lore. And I truly believe in my heart of hearts that it could be done better. And I don't have too many high hopes for the new Resident Evil show, but I'm going to watch it anyway, and we're going to see what happens. But this wasn't bad. I just, you expect more, and maybe that's why this flew under my radar. I didn't probably get the best of a reception as it was hoping for. But then again, almost nothing Resident Evil does, and it's still going strong after 25, 30 years. So you're not going to stop Resident Evil fans, and you're not going to stop Resident Evil from being one of the best survival horror storylines that there is out there today. And I fully believe that, and I can't wait for more Resident Evil. And I do hope, I probably said this in the last entry too, and I will say it again when I talk about it again, I do hope they continue where they left off with the 2021 film. I think that's been the best so far, and they should continue with that.